Dear voters of Hong Kong North SMC, last night I spoke off the cuff at the rally at Bishan Toa Payoh. Today, I'm not going to do that. Because today is a day that I have to address the voters in Hong Kong North. It is important that I feel that the voters at Hong Kong North know what they are voting for on September 11, 2015. My comrades and friends have said to you why you should vote for them. To have a strong opposition in Parliament because it is good for Singaporeans. My conversation in the election is not with the PAP. It is not with Dr. Amy Khor. My conversation is with you, the voters of Hong Kong North SMC. Because it is you who will decide, come 11 September 2015, if you trust me enough to send me to Parliament. When I first came here, I was a stranger to many of you, but you gave me a chance. You had hard questions, but you allowed me to talk to you. Once you had sized me up and knew that you can trust me, you shared your concerns with me. Today, I have become good friends with many of you. You invited me into your homes. You not only reached out your hands to shake mine, but also put it around my shoulders, like a friend, to ask me very personal questions. Wow, you're eating hor fun, ah. What is your favorite food? You married very young, is it? You nonsense lah. You must work very hard, okay? 3 o'clock, I got work. You can come to my house at 1 a.m. These are the types of conversations we now have. When I was thirsty, you gave me water. You invited me to share meals with you. You opened your houses to me. You had looked past the lines that divide us of race, language, and religion, and have now accepted me and my family as one of your own. Thank you very much, Hong Kong North. Hong Kong North, size-wise, it is perhaps the biggest single-member constituency. Some of you from Jurong had asked why I am holding my rally in Bukit Gombak and not in Jurong West. And when I said that Bukit Gombak is also part of Hong Kong North SMC, you were surprised. If you took a bus to Jurong West from Bukit Gombak, it is about a 50-minute ride. That's how far one end of the constituency is from the other. Despite the size of the ward, me, my family, and my supporters have walked to all the blocks in Hong Kong North in the past few months. I just saw you the other day. Now I see you again. You are Ravi's wife, is it? Wow, you're campaigning for your husband also, ah. Your daughter is your election agent, is it? The one driving your pickup is your son. Your supporters are all very hardworking, leh. You had acknowledged my hard work. We did the hard work, but you allowed me to know you. You allowed me to hear you. Now, I ask that you send me to Parliament to speak for you. The coming election is a very important one. It is the first election without Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. It is in this election you decide what kind of future you want, what kind of future you would create for your own children today. The newspaper today had an article about Hong Kong North and Dr. Amy Khor. The report stated that Dr. Khor connects with the residents, speaking to them in English, Chinese, and Malay. Considering that She was born in Malaysia, where Malay is the first language, and considering the fact that she is Chinese and has been in Singapore for such a long time, perhaps it's no surprise that she can speak in 3 languages. Regardless, I think it is good that she uses her language skills to connect with the residents. The same newspaper article reported that a Hong Kong North voter, a man who had become a citizen of Singapore only last year, a new citizen, acknowledging that I asked his name and shook his hands. He said his helpers asked me to vote for him, but I didn't know what to vote for. I am a 4th-generation Singaporean. A new citizen like him may not know what he is voting for in this election. He will probably know only in a generation's time. But I think those of you who have been staying here for many generations know what you are voting for in this election. The PAP likes to play up the racial riots of the 1960s. I want to tell you, the divide is not between the Chinese, the Malays, and the Indians, and the other races that are here. The divide is between Singaporeans and foreigners. Before I tell you what you are voting for in this election, let me tell you what you are voting against. Dr. Kaur is the Senior Minister of State for Health and Manpower. She heads REACH, the government's feedback unit. She is also the Deputy Whip of the PAP. Look at the report card of the Health Ministry. People, even old people, are sleeping on hospital corridors because of the bed crunch. And when you ask them why, the reply is, because it is holiday season. Look at the Ministry of Manpower. Dr. Kaur said that a Singaporean first policy will not benefit the economy. Tiobo? When a 76-year-old woman complained about not being able to withdraw her CPF, Dr. Kaur said that the woman mistakenly believed that she cannot withdraw her CPF. Even now, we don't know if the Amma was able to withdraw her CPF, and if she was able to, if it was given out as a lump sum. Look at REACH, the government feedback unit. Mr. Goh Chok Tong recently said that REACH must evaluate how it can move into the next stage. What does that mean? REACH is stuck in a certain time warp and not as effective as in getting Singaporeans' feedback. Look at the 6.9 million. Look at Look at the 6.9 million population paper. Did Dr. Amy Kaur, being the Deputy Party Whip, compel all PAP MPs to vote for the paper? Dr. Kaur's report book for the past 4 to 5 years looks quite bad. Don't you agree? Very bad. So Hong Kong North, when you go to cast your votes on September 11, this is what you are voting against. You are voting against the rising cost of living. You are voting against GST rise. You are voting against high COE prices. You are voting against MRT breakdowns. You are voting against the bed crunch in hospitals. You are voting against the CPF policy. You are voting against a government which is not listening to you. You are voting against a policy which does not put Singaporeans first. Now let me tell you what you are voting for. Medical care is a top concern for many Hong Kong North voters. One voter recounted his recent experience in a government polyclinic. He was prescribed 3 months' supply of non-subsidized medical drug by the doctor. And when the pharmacist told him that the 3 month supply of drugs will cost him $1,300, his heart sank. I think he had a heart attack. He couldn't use his MediSave to pay for it. He asked me, where do I find such kind of money? He asked the pharmacist to give him 1 month's supply. And today, instead of taking 3 tablets a day, as prescribed by the doctor, he's taking 1 tablet a day. This is so expensive. I must make it last for at least 3 months, he said. When I asked him, can I? He replied, what to do? This is the situation many Singaporeans are in. Which is why, in my manifesto, among other things, I have promised that if elected, I will set up a 500,000 Hong Kong North Medical Assistance Fund, which Singaporean Hong Kong North residents can tap onto to pay for such unsubsidized medical drugs. One resident had a question regarding my promise to be a full-time MP if I get elected, and if MPS 3 times a week is a tall order. I do not think so. If Hong Kong North residents elect me, it is my duty to serve the voters here. Serving the residents of Hong Kong North becomes my priority. Besides seeing me 3 times a week in the MPSs, you will also get to see me eating at your coffee shops and taking the same buses with you when you travel to work and school. I have given the voters of Hong Kong North my personal phone number. That is a sign of my commitment to you. You don't need to speak with third party to have access to me. The buses here are so crowded. When we miss one, we have to wait 25 minutes to get another. This was what a Hong Kong North resident told me. In my manifesto, I have promised to lobby for more buses and more frequent bus services for you. I will do all I can to lobby hard for you on this. Another resident told me about how just having breakfast in some coffee shops in Hong Kong North costs you at least $4, and that he brought up the matter to some of Dr. Kor's grassroots people, and you know what they said to him? $4 not very expensive lah. And he told me, maybe $4 is not expensive when you earn almost $1 million as a senior minister of state. But for me, I earn only 1,000 plus. It is very expensive. The government has promised to build more hawker centers, and I promise to be your advocate to push for a market and hawker center in your constituency. I have learned from the Chams about the importance of good town council management. I have heard stories about how Mr. Cham's town council responds to its residents, even when they call him at 10 p.m. at night. My town council will be at your call. That is my promise to you. I bought my flat very cheaply in 1986. I don't want to sell it now, because if I sell my money, it'll go inside my retirement account. What for? After 60 years, also have loan restriction. Who want to buy my flat? This was what a senior citizen recently told me. The government has also said that once your flat reaches 99 years, the value of your flat is zero. Which is why in my manifesto, I have promised to campaign on your behalf for 30-year lease top-up. Among other benefits, that is money in the pocket for you. Do you agree? Another said, we have spoken to her, Dr. Kaur, many times about the low-flying military aircrafts. Sometimes they fly so early in the morning, at 8 o'clock. when we feedback to her, she said that she will bring up in Parliament. We are not sure if she had. Another one said, the traffic here is so heavy and the tipper trucks drive very fast. There have been a few accidents. I promise to be a voice for you in Parliament, to bring up such matters which affect your quality of life. So when you go to the polling booth, on September 11, this is what you are voting for when you vote for me. You will be voting for a better sense of security with the Hongkar North Medical Assistance Fund. You will be voting for a full-time MP who will be dedicated to serving you at your beck and call. You will be voting for a town council which will be accessible and work hard for you. You will be voting for a parliamentarian who will put Singaporeans first. You will be voting for your future, your children's future, and your children's children's future. When I was introduced as a candidate for Hongkar North by Mr. and Mrs. Cham on 23rd October 2015, Dr. Amy Kaur swung by to meet Mr. Cham. She said, Mr. Cham, welcome to my constituency. And Mr. Cham retorted, what do you mean your constituency? I was here before you in 1991. I know that I faced a tough fight here, but I came here prepared. The chances of a swing in my favor here are slimmer. I came to you, Hongkar North, knowing this. Even if I don't win, by voting for me, and thereby reducing Dr. Kaur's margin of vote share from the last election, you will be sending a strong signal to her that she needs to pull up her socks and not take Hongkar North voters for granted. Hongkar North, you had trusted Mr. Cham's men in the past. When Hongkar North was Bukit Gombak SMC, you put one of Mr. Cham's men into Parliament. Mr. Cham promised the voters of Hongkar North that he will field one of his strongest candidates in your constituency to serve you. And he has kept his promise by fielding me here. I ask that you give me your vote and send me to Parliament. Hongkar North. Thank you very much.